Good evening. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the Board of Trustees meeting for the School Town of Speedway for the 8th of March, 2022. We are working from an 8-item agenda. And the first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from our last meeting of February 8th, 2022. Yes?
I'll move that we accept the minutes from the February 8th, 2022 meeting.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor of approving the minutes as presented to us, please signify. And that passes unanimously.
This is just a big temptation. Am I really going to eat this in a meeting?
Yes.
Maybe.
So good. So good.
Minutes are signed.
Thank you very much. The second agenda item this evening is to have a presentation of the next academic year's Student Parent Handbook.
In your packet, you have a copy of the 2022-2023 Student Handbook. This is for you to look through and consider for our April meeting once we make some revisions to it. If this publication is approved in April, we'll ask the administrator to have authority to make any changes that are necessary to comply with any new legislation which may be created. I'll point out a few of the things that we did change. It's in your packet also. Most of those changes are grammatical in error, or sometimes it's because we've moved here as a meeting place. There's places in the handbook where we have now referred to instead of the board room, the Speedway Municipal Center. We've updated the calendar on page 6. On page 4, I skipped one. On page 4, we've added Ms. Dietz as the principal at Wheeler Elementary School. We've updated the school hours in elementary school from 8:10 to 2:50. School closings and delays, we use Parent Square as a means to notify these days. On page 8 in section B under Title 9 and section 504, we changed that to update with the codes that or the policy that you approved back on September the 14th. So on September the 14th, we update our policies through the ISBA, and this is an updated copy that will go into our Student Parent Handbook. The cafeteria will be updated when those meal prices become available. Usually that's in April or early May. We found out through an inspection that we didn't have in our handbook that Mr. Kiefer is also referred to as the indoor air coordinator. So he is now referred to as the indoor air coordinator in our handbook, which makes us compliant. On page 40 in section F, through a expulsion process, we found out that if it's ultimately determined that a student did not live in the boundaries of Speedway, illegally attended school here, we may be entitled to recover tuition costs for each semester that student attended. On page 44, we updated immunizations, and the only thing that's being updated with that is just recommended for COVID vaccines. And then updated the family nights that are required through Title I. And some more information in there about Parent Square as a communication tool. So these are the updates that we have at this time. Are there any questions with those updates or the things that you've been presented?
I had none.
I had none either.
Tom? Nope. All right.
We'll make corrections to those then and bring an updated copy to the April board meeting.
In the notes, we stated that legislation would end at the end of March, but from our intel, it looks like it's going to be over this week. So we'll have a little bit more lead time to see what's passed and what we need to update. And that's like we do each and every year as a routine matter. So hopefully legislation will end this week. And like I said, we can update then.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. The third agenda item this evening is to approve an agreement with Able Construction Company for the safety project at the high school.
Thank you, Mr. President. Able Construction was awarded the bid last month that we voted on. This is the exact or the detailed contract that I want to bring to your attention and vote on it tonight. The low bid from last month is the same as $292,912. Again, just a reminder that the school safety grant will be $100,000 that we're going to put towards this. Since then, we found some issues, and we knew we would. A 1961 building with some wiring and asbestos that's throughout the building. So we are having groups come through and make sure that we meet code, and we're starting on that the beginning of spring break, the 28th. So we are ready to go, and my recommendation is to approve Able Construction.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the agreement with Able Construction Company for the safety project.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there discussion on the approval of the contract with Able Construction?
Kyle, is there a sense that that contingency allowance will generally cover what has been uncovered, or do?
It's such a low cost, we didn't put a lot in contingency, but I think it's it is the right thing to do, to make sure it's safe. And as we peel back these old buildings, we're finding more and more things. So we'll have it covered in capital projects, and we knew this was going through. I'm just very happy with the overall bids that came in, and with this price, we're quite a bit under what we thought we would be. So that's a good thing in this day of time.
Great.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Is there any further question, discussion on the issue? Hearing and seeing none. If all those in favor of approval of this contract would signify. And that passes unanimously. The fourth agenda item this evening is to approve a request for an extended field trip for one of the athletic teams.
For all extended field trips, we bring to the board's notice and we vote on since I've been here. And again, I recommend that we approve the extended field trip for our Speedway High School soccer team. Head coach Dean Hevelin and his staff included the proposal for your information. This detailed plan is the second year in a row, so it's turning into a routine. They had great reviews last year at Anderson, and I think my understanding is the kids, the staff, it was just a phenomenal camp. So the soccer team is reigning ICC champs and sectional champs, and they think this is a big reason why that happened. So my recommendation is approve this extended field trip.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve the request for the extended field trip for the soccer team.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Is there discussion or commentary on the issue? Hearing and seeing none. If all those in favor of approving this extended field trip would signify. And that passes unanimously. The fifth agenda item this evening is to acknowledge the grants that we've received. The grants totaled this month $412,643.70. The sixth agenda item this evening is to cover the personnel report.
Personnel report this month has 5 resignations and 5 recommendations for hiring. The resignations are as follows. Katie Bartheld, academic coach at Newby Elementary, resigning her position on June 30th. Katie, husband got transferred to Los Angeles. The commute was just too much for her to continue. Amy Delisle, a teacher at Newby Elementary, has resigned her position effective at the end of the year. She is choosing, her husband's job changed, responsibilities changed, so she's choosing to stay home and to take care of some of the things that he was taking care of or helping with. Olusola Sequoia is a custodian for us, and Olu has resigned his position. Stacy Richardson, cafeteria manager for us at the junior high Fisher. She resigned her position on February the 16th, and then Philip Clay helped us with junior high football, and he resigned his position as 7th grade football coach. On the employment side, Darrell Thames we're recommending to be hired as a custodian. Darrell went through some times as a substitute custodian with us and had excellent work ethic and attendance, so he's being recommended for employment. Pamela Albright is being recommended as the stage prop manager for the high school theater department. Todd Jarrett is being recommended as the varsity assistant softball coach. Todd's been coaching high school volleyball for the last several years and also been a para-professional over at Wheeler Elementary for several years. Kathy McManus is being recommended as a cafeteria assistant manager at the junior high school, replacing Stacy Richardson. You may remember her because she had a restaurant called Rolling on the Dough. It was on Main Street, so she comes to us with a lot of experience in the food management positions. And then Anastasia Haberman works for us as a 3-hour position, but she's going to move up and take the position that Kathy McManus had in the cafeteria, so she goes from a 3-hour to a 4-hour. I would recommend that you approve the personnel report as presented.
I recommend that we approve the personnel report as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there discussion on the personnel report? Hearing and seeing none. Would all those in favor of approving the motion, please signify. And the motion passes unanimously. The seventh agenda item is recognition of visitors and any other business. There's none to come before us. We will now adjourn to approve claims and sign warrants. Thank you all very much.